people in here, they've been inside from the start. They haven't had to survive. They just don't get it. They can't.
The very thing that makes you different is what makes you special.
Now I'm all warm and fuzzy inside.
To fight for this city. To be the symbol of hope that the arrow never was. I am the Green Arrow.
Hello, everybody, and
I
welcome.
love when you do that at the end.
Yeah, it's a little Easter egg for those of you who don't know. I tend to ruin the endings of our podcast, along with everything else, but especially the endings.
No, just the ending. And then you don't ruin it. It makes me giggle.
So if you
every
play it all
time.
the way through, you'll probably hear me
Wow, wow, wow.
being a smart ass. But hello, and welcome once again to the Fandom Zone podcast. As we sit here, we're playing with our little toys once again. And
I like this.
Karen is taunting me with the John Constantine figure.
From the dark 52 or whatever.
The New 52, yeah. So did you get Justice League Dark from New 52?
Right, that's it. Yeah.
So did you get John for Christmas?
I did.
You did.
I didn't know he was fully posable. That's
yeah.
awesome. That's why I was playing with them, because I was trying to get him to give you the flip off.
Yeah, the middle finger, the two fingers, because he's British. You have to do the two fingers.
Well, his fingers are apart on that hand.
Yeah.
Like that, but I can't give him.
And he's got 3 settings. Oh wait, no, that's something else.
He is fully functional.
Yeah. And meanwhile, I've got my new Funko figures.
That is very cool.
Sherlock and Dr. Watson.
Very cool.
From the BBC Sherlock. So yeah.
And
by the way, for anyone wondering, it's Sherlock with the deerstalker cap.
Right.
So,
it is
so that
Benedict Cumberbatch and
Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman, thank you.
You're welcome. Who also played Arthur Dent in the Hitchhiker's movie.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yep.
That's right.
And
he was in
Bilbo.
one of my favorite
Bilbo.
movies. Also.
What was that?
Love Actually.
Right. I remember you loving that movie.
Yes, I do.
Which I still have not seen.
Oh, you should watch it. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, you got on my case about it a while
Well, no, that one is just, hey, you don't have to watch it, but it's a good movie.
So here we are after Christmas. I hope everybody... Yes. For those of you who celebrate, I hope you had a good Christmas.
Yeah. His tie is actually sideways.
Christmas.
Look at his tie is sideways even.
Well, yeah, because
awesome.
John's not going to have a good tie. He's not going to be Mr. Perfect.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I'm fascinated.
She is.
This time I've looked at it.
Do you and John want to be alone for a while?
No.
All right. So today we're going to, since most of the shows that we cover are off on their mid-season hiatuses or hiatus. Yeah.
Not most of them.
Okay, all of them.
Yeah.
But so we're going to try to get through a couple of Jessica Jones for this week and next, because those shows will be coming back and we will be overloaded before you know it. So we figured.
Right.
Go ahead.
I have to say, watching these 2 in a row, I want to go and break my promise of watching them one at a time.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew it.
Yeah, I want to watch all the rest of them now, because there are things that happen in these 2, and there are things that I want to go, I want to know what happens here.
Mm-hmm. It is definitely a binge-worthy show.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And in Justina's feedback, which we'll hear later, she feels the same way.
Yeah.
I thought that as I was watching it, and then when I edited her feedback, I was like, oh, she feels the same way.
So suddenly,
excellent.
suddenly, me jumping ahead and finishing the entire series, I'm kind of off the hook on that one, aren't I?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
You
I
totally get
expect
it now, don't you?
I expect you to do that anyway.
Yeah.
That that's it's a thing I would do too normally, but I know when we're talking about it, I don't want to know ahead
Right.
sometimes. Like something we're not talking about, BoJack Horseman, which I watch on Netflix.
Right.
Just blow through that whole thing. Or Kimmy Schmidt,
Right.
which I also watched. I blew through that as well. And there was some comedy that I just watched that was also cute. I just watched that straight through as well. But like this one that I know we're going to talk about, I don't want to overload so that I can make sure to talk about only the part from that episode,
Right. And not
instead of
jump ahead.
talking ahead. Right.
Yeah.
So,
So this week we're going to talk about episode 5, aka The Sandwich Saved Me.
what a great title, right?
Wasn't that a great title?
Yeah, it is.
I might have to use that one. I don't know, but and then episode 6, aka You're a Winner,
Yeah, that's great.
which I
I
love.
say we, I say we use The Sandwich Saved Me
You like that one?
as our
Okay,
title.
I'll just
Yeah.
have to go with that one because yeah, that is such a great title.
Yeah, it
So
is.
okay, so diving right in.
And
Uh,
could we be any more on the same wavelength for this episode?
we were pretty close, weren't we, in our
Yeah.
ratings? I take it you saw mine.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Well, I stare at it while we talk, so
Okay.
it's right
It's
there.
right there in front of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All
In
right.
case I have notes, I keep it up. I
You
don't in this
you
case.
notes?
I don't
Are you
today,
slacking
but
because it's Christmas week?
yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
And because of my day yesterday, which I just told you about, but I am not going to
Yep.
mention it right now.
Okay. And the fact that
'Cause
John, and apparently because John's there.
no, it's not. Even our listeners would think I am a geek, like a super geeky nerd, if I mentioned what I did all day yesterday, right?
So I shouldn't expose you for.
No, they know about it, but yesterday was excessive, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Based on what you told me, without throwing you under the bus, yes, I would say
No,
so.
okay, now it's too late, right? I should say something.
Yes, you should, because now you need to explain it. And everybody's wondering. So,
Okay, so it's Christmas. They call it Winter Veil in Warcraft because they never actually call it Christmas or whatever.
so yes, World of Warcraft, everybody.
World of Warcraft. Instead of Valentine's Day, it's Love is in the Air. Uh, it's not Halloween. It's something else. But it's Winter Veil right now, which is the Christmas holiday, and there's daily quests. There's 4 daily quests that you can do, and at the end of the daily quest, you get these tokens, which you can turn in for different things. But one of them is a little like a present. And when you open the present, you can get various things. One of them is a mount, which is exclusive to this holiday. And I collect mounts. I have like 180 mounts in the game. No, it's over 200 because I have the 200 mount. Anyway,
All digital.
of course digital, but it's cool to show off that you have, this.
Right. Collection.
It's like you have an Azure Dragon mount and all this other stuff. So anyway, it's a special mount. It's like a big hulking, like a Yeti
Okay.
mount. So anyway, I have 15 level 100, which is the highest level characters.
Okay.
15 of them, which is too many. I agree, but it's taken me like a year or so to level my characters up to that level. Okay.
Okay.
They were all the highest level with the last patch, with the last expansion. So it's taken me a year to get them all from 90 to 100, which is, that's not okay.
Yeah, you're kind of rambling a little bit.
Okay. So anyway, yesterday I was doing all the quests on all my tunes, and I just got so into it. It takes a half an hour for each character, so 15 times a half hour,
So if
is
you're doing
7.5 hours.
yeah, if you're doing the math, yes.
And I lost track of time.
And
And I,
and how long was it when you noticed the clock? What time was it?
well, I didn't notice the clock.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the front door open,
Oh,
and my husband was getting home,
and
and he works the late shift. It was 1 o'clock in the morning.
oh,
Right. And I was almost done.
hi, honey. I've been busy all day.
Right. So yeah, there's that. Yeah. So it's the first time I have played that long in years, in several years. I usually play for like 2 hours at a time and then I get bored but I had a goal. I was
You-
rapid
and
to
you
get,
had to complete that goal.
and by the way, 15 times and I still haven't gotten the goddamn mount. 15 times yesterday.
Yes. All right. Warcraft. Shakes fist. Okay.
What is this bizarre thing?
Yeah, thank you.
I deserve it.
You
I'm
did.
sorry.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was an epic digression.
But this is, I want our audience to know
Yes.
this is my life right now. That was Christmas Day because
that's what you want them to know.
right. My husband had to, he volunteered to work Christmas Day because it's time and a half
Yeah.
on Christmas Day. So yeah, that's what I did.
Okay.
That was my Christmas
All right.
to me.
All right. So for those of you who fast forwarded to this point, Jessica Jones.
Now we're going to start talking about comic book shows.
Yes, we are. Which is pretty much why we're all here, right?
And hey, editor Rob, if you feel like that was just completely off topic, feel free to edit it out. But otherwise,
It wasn't off Karen.
have a peek inside my life.
Peel back the outer layer, or
That's right.
pull back the curtain.
I'm an onion. I'm an enigma wrapped in a riddle.
Pay no attention to the Karen behind the curtain. As she sits there till 1 o'clock in the morning playing video games.
I know, right? I feel so stupid. And you know what? As soon as we're done here, I'm probably going to start playing again. I haven't played it all today, but I can do them again today.
I thought you said you had to watch the Doctor Who Christmas special.
Yeah, I'll do that next.
Because priorities here. Come on.
Yes, I will do that.
Remember who you're talking to.
But I haven't done them at all today.
All right. Jessica Jones, episode 5, aka The Sandwich Saved Me, written by
Yay.
Dana Barada. And
The sandwich saved me.
as
That girl was so cute.
Yeah, that was very cute.
Yeah.
Directed by Steven Surgic, who also directed episode 6. We're jumping in.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we got two.
I can kind of tell they
kind of flowed well together. So it's actually good that we did these two back to back.
I agree.
So we open up with a flashback to Jessica Jones in an office.
Yeah, that kind of shook me a little bit. I was like, does she have a job now?
Right.
But then when they revealed it was a flashback, I was like, okay.
Yeah, the way they did that, you weren't really sure if this was present day.
Right. If maybe she was going undercover.
Because she looks exactly the same.
Right. I thought maybe she was going undercover for an assignment.
That's what I thought when I first watched it. But,
right.
But yeah, then, it's basically like the Jessica Jones version of Office Space.
Right. It was kind of, wasn't it?
Because you have this manager coming by who's giving her crap about like playing with a ball.
Rubber band ball.
Made of rubber bands. And then also like she apparently stole a couple of sodas and he's giving her crap about that.
Right.
So she's like, well, since you brought it up, here's some documents.
How about your trip?
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of prove that you've been embezzling from the company.
So my sodas don't really
so
very much, do they?
So how about you just fire me so that I can get like 6 months severance?
Right.
And or otherwise I'll just report you with all these documents.
I'll let people know what's happening.
So I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, it was. It was good. And then it reminded me of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
Where the chief tells Peralta that he can't have the rubber band ball on his desk.
I just love the fact that she was banging it off the computer monitor.
Yeah.
Bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang.
And you know for sure that she could just break every single thing in that office with the rubber band ball if
Pretty
she
much.
wanted to.
Yeah, if she hurled it fast enough.
So she was holding it back.
Yeah. And there was like another flashback right after that where like this like jerky guy comes by, tries to hit on Trish, and like Jessica kind of shows him up on the like punching bag machine.
Yeah.
Big time. Makes him pay for
Yeah.
drinks and whatnot.
He gets something like in the midway point, like 500 or something.
Yeah,
and then she goes all the way up.
Yeah, it only goes to 999. Otherwise, it would have gone up higher.
Right.
So that was pretty good.
And then when it comes back, it goes. It does that thing like all the airs come out of it.
Please, no more. No mas, no mas.
And the guy almost does the same thing. I mean, it's almost the punching bag is kind of the simile for the guy. The guy looks at her like,
yeah. Yeah, he kind of mumbles this like, "I'm sorry," apology that she wanted, and then
Right.
but then she's like, "Speak up, a-hole."
Right. Exactly.
At the
I
top
love
of
it.
her voice, it was great.
Right.
It was pure Jessica. I loved it.
Yeah.
So back to the present day, we have Jessica following Malcolm, who we just recently learned is taking photos of her for
Right.
Kilgrave in a really creepy way.
Now, I have to say, this episode surprised me in that
Yes.
Malcolm is not being manipulated in the way we thought.
Not entirely. I think
Right.
somewhat he was.
I think, yeah.
Especially initially, because
Right.
Kilgrave gets him hooked on drugs.
Right. But Kilgrave, like we said, it wears off. I mean,
Yeah.
like they said on the show, it wears off after a certain amount of time. So I don't think he's really expending very much effort on Malcolm to keep him.
But
taking-
he got him hooked. So he
Right.
figured, well, in order that will keep him around, I don't need to use my powers.
Right. So I was shocked
Yeah.
that he's not manipulating him via mind control.
And he does own it. He does say like, well, it was my choice.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's
But he also says that
probably feeling guilty over it.
he also says that he'd be dead if he stopped.
Right.
So yeah, it was his choice, but he doesn't feel like he has a huge choice to make.
Yep. So so Jessica follows Malcolm. They're in Central Park, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Kilgrave, he meets up with Kilgrave in the park eventually. Kilgrave looks at his photos, gives Malcolm a small envelope, which we presume is what, drugs or money for drugs?
Either or.
Either or.
I'm guessing. Actually, I think it's probably money because his dealer came to his house later.
And it did look like a regular letter envelope.
Yeah.
So it's probably, which is perfect for dollar bills.
Right.
So yeah. But so Jessica goes back the next day trying to figure out his pattern because Kilgrave seems to like not meet with him in the same way each time.
Right.
Like in a different way he meets with him. So she's trying to figure out what the pattern is, and it turns out that Kilgrave actually talks to somebody who tells Malcolm where to find him.
Correct.
Okay.
And that's the go-between. That's the
Right.
mind control that he uses. Someone to go and tell Malcolm where to
Right.
meet him.
So they figure that out. Let's see. I guess Jessica goes to see her friend Trish, who is apparently having sex with Officer Simpson. Dope.
Which was awesome, I thought.
Yep. So cue the porn
I
music.
guess she forgives him. There we go.
Oh yeah. And
I thought it was
so everybody's getting busy
Solo.
on this show.
I thought it was Solo there until he shows up at the doorway.
Oh really?
Yeah, he did kind of. But then it occurred to me, oh yeah.
And I like and Jessica is like Trish doesn't answer the door. So Jessica's like banging on the door Until,
And then Trish realizes she could break down the door, so
right, I guess I better go get that.
better go open it. Yeah.
Yeah, doors don't last well on this show, so yeah, you
Mhm.
better go get that.
You see another door thing.
Exactly, another
Mm.
door. You're right. Lots of doors. So once she's inside, Jessica talks to Trish about what she's found. Um, Simpson's there, so they kind of like sort of come up with a game plan. Jessica doesn't want Simpson involved,
Right.
but he's like basically
I already got
inserting
it.
himself into the mission.
Right. I already got a dog in this fight. I got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And it's kind of a good thing. Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah.
because
He ends up being a
yeah,
plus.
because turns out Simpson has access to a hermetically sealed room that
Right.
they can, once they capture Kilgrave, they can lock him in there.
Right. But he also has some moves as
Right.
well. I mean, he
He
helps
does.
out.
Yeah, supposedly he's like special forces or something.
Hmm.
So it's still a little nebulous at this point.
He's a bit of an asset in
And,
this
and
episode.
also a bit of an ass.
There's that, but
Yeah. Right.
the asset part it outweighs the ass part in this episode, at least.
At least, yeah.
In this episode.
Yeah, that
I
might
don't know.
change.
Okay, I don't know about down the line, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good decision, at least in this episode, to take him because
Right. For right
he
now,
ended up shooting Kilgrave in the neck with the
Yeah.
dart.
it's like, whoops, dart in your neck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dart in your neck.
Although he had to work in tandem with Jessica because it ended up that he made the cop.
Yeah.
Kilgrave made the cop.
Yeah, there was
so-
like a balloon that popped or something, wasn't it? Yeah.
Right. Something in his direction, and
Yeah.
he
Got spotted. He got spotted.
He got spotted. So yeah.
So they kind of had to rush the issue.
So Jessica had to draw his attention away, and then
Yeah.
blam.
Yeah. Since we got into that already, we might as well finish. So these bodyguards show up to try to rescue Kilgrave after he gets
Right.
knocked out.
Right. And that was they followed Malcolm
Right. And we
to
find
like an outdoor cafe
yeah,
where they met up.
Jessica carries Kilgrave's body to their little like escape van.
Well, Kilgrave. I wouldn't say Kilgrave's body, but
Well, I mean the Kilgrave's unconscious
his
body.
limp
His
unconscious,
limp unconscious
form.
body. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I love when Trish goes, "We have to keep him alive," and then she punches him.
yes, in the
And
face.
says,
Boom.
"See, still alive."
Yep. Which is pure Jessica. It was like,
I love it.
yeah, it was great. It was great. But then she ends up finding a tracker inside his suit,
Mm-hmm.
which of course alerts more bodyguards
Mm-hmm.
who show up. They tase Trish,
Right.
and then they surround Jessica while others like grab Kilgrave, I guess.
Yep. Take him off
Take
into
off.
an
Take
SUV.
off. Yeah.
They had 2 SUVs and a bunch of guys. They were just outmanned.
Right. Pretty much.
Was the deal. And it was uncomfortable to watch because Simpson was fighting them off pretty well, but there were too many.
Yeah.
And then Jessica, they were just tasing her over and over with like 4 or 5, 3 or 4 different tasers.
Yeah, something like that.
Just
Yeah.
over and over and over again. And she just could not move. She was fighting it off. I mean, she
Right.
was awake the whole time, but she couldn't get up from the ground. So they were just completely outmanned.
And overpowered. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so they dragged him into one of the 2 SUVs and off they went. But Simpson managed to get one of the bodyguards.
Right. And wanted to torture him.
Right. And they
Jessica's like, no, I'm not into torture.
No.
Given Jessica's background, that's probably why.
Right. Because she knows what torture does and
Mm.
she's not into that.
Yeah, she's
so-
not down with that.
Nope.
We did get a cool flashback sequence, though.
I'm sorry for taking over there.
No, it's cool.
I wanted to mention how uncomfortable I felt watching that tase.
Yeah, it was a little
thing.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't. It was basically like this plan. They had a plan, and then
Mhm.
it gets all rushed,
Hmm.
and it doesn't go off like it should.
I was so happy that they got him in the neck, and then all of a sudden it was upside down.
Yeah. Keep in mind this is episode 5, so obviously they
Well,
weren't
sure.
going to get him yet.
Right. I was just thinking that they might actually get him for a little bit and then have him taken away. But man, they didn't even have him for like 20 minutes.
No, they didn't.
It was
It's like,
crazy.
yeah, we got him. Oh, we don't got him.
Yeah. There. Sorry.
That's all right. That's perfect.
Yeah.
We did get a flashback sequence where Trish is showing Jessica the Jewel costume from the Alias comic, which was great, which is great. I love this because I'm a huge Alias fan.
Yeah.
So Brian Bendis' Alias, not the TV show Alias, but I love that show too. But,
yeah.
Jessica, of course, hates it.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a little different from the comic, because in the comic she actually wore it for a while and had the superhero identity of Jewel for a little while.
Right.
Until she ran into Kilgrave and then the Avengers, and they got really messy. But but Jessica in this says that Jewel is a stripper name, and if she wore the costume, Trish might as well call her Camel Toe.
I know, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, that was. So that was just it just exactly fits in perfectly with Jessica's persona. So,
and also in there somewhere we got that flashback of her saving the little girl.
Right. Yeah, with the she's dressed in a like sandwich costume.
Right. And she's barking for
out hoagie flyers or something.
Right. Right. Barking for a hoagie.
But then this little girl gets she walks out into a side crosswalk. Cab almost splats her, but Jessica of course comes in and smashes the hood of the cab.
Yep. She just puts her hand out, but
yeah, and then the cabbie's like, "Get out of my way, sandwich.
Get out of the street, sandwich." It was funny. And the little girl, when her dad comes over and says, "You shouldn't have walked away from me," and he's all concerned, but I was expecting him to yell at Jessica, but he doesn't. Right. Which is cool.
Why would he yell at Jessica? That's the problem, though.
I don't know. I expect
you think he would yell at the cabbie for almost killing his daughter?
He doesn't do that either,
right.
though.
Right.
He just is concerned, and then the little girl says, "The sandwich saved me." It's so cute, and that's where the flashback ends, right?
And we get the title from obviously for this episode.
So adorable.
Yeah, it was. It was. Let's see what else.
This was like the flashback episode.
It was. There was a lot of
flashbacks anywhere else?
There was the flashback to Jessica in the office. I thought kind of hinted that gave her the idea that she could do detective work.
Right, I think so too.
So, and here we had the bit with the superhero costume. Why she didn't become a superhero.
Right, and then the other parts kind of showed how it led into her wanting to help people.
Right. We got the bit with the sandwich, and then
and then she didn't want to wear a costume because she was a sandwich. I think that's part of why she didn't want to wear a costume.
Oh, you think the sandwich part came before the Jewel costume part?
Right. Okay.
So we got to piece this together. The chronology.
Yeah. Well, in the notes over here on this page that I have, it says the sandwich part came before the costume part.
Okay.
And I think that maybe the sandwich part, she felt like she was anonymous, but she felt ridiculous. The sandwich saved me.
Right.
And then that's what led to Trish kind of bringing the costume to her house.
Okay.
You should stay anonymous.
I could see that.
Yeah. And of course, there's all the other superheroes who are in their costumes. And then Jessica Jones saying, "No, I'd feel just as ridiculous in that costume as I would in the sandwich." costume. So and that it kind of makes sense for her to just be her.
Right.
Because it's not like she wants to be recognized. She definitely does not.
No.
She wants to she doesn't even want to be Jessica, to be honest. She wants to not be on any radar.
Now, do you think that was before Kilgrave? The costume part?
It feels like it was.
Could be.
To me.
All right.
Well, remember, she was saving Malcolm, and that's where Kilgrave found her?
Right, but we don't know. Yeah, again, we didn't know. I didn't know what order. Maybe it was just kind of jumping around.
So I'm guessing that...
But if it was going in order, then that was the last time that Jessica is kind of happy, and then
Yeah.
She saves Malcolm because what Karen's talking about is like these two guys. Another flashback. They're mugging Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Jessica, of course, shows up to rescue Malcolm. But
Mm-hmm.
then who happens to be there but Kilgrave? He's got a couple of hotties on his arm. He tells
Mm-hmm.
them to bugger off.
Right. I'm
Um,
bored with you
right.
too.
So this
Also,
is essentially where Kilgrave encounters Jessica for the first time.
hmm
Now, my question to you is, um, did Kilgrave know Malcolm before that?
no, I don't think
You
so.
don't think it was a setup?
I don't think so at all.
Okay.
I think he just happened upon them
Okay.
at that point.
Okay. And then he
Uh,
remembered him.
sure.
Okay.
And I think also that she might have come back
Hmm.
to him and made sure he was all right and set him up in that apartment. So, when the mind control wore off that night or whatever,
Right.
she came back to make sure he was all right. Like maybe he was an itinerant,
Okay.
living somewhere nearby.
Because they made a point of saying that Malcolm didn't move in until 4 months ago. And
Mm.
so he was
Well,
he was planted there by Kilgrave.
they still might have had a relationship.
Right.
Like she might have checked on him.
Maybe. Maybe.
So that wasn't explained later in the
No,
other
it
episode.
wasn't. No, it wasn't. I was just it's just kind of dropped.
Well, he might have come back then.
Yeah. So it's a little fuzzy on when Kilgrave started using Malcolm.
Okay. So one of them came back
Yeah.
at the very least and initiated contact with Jessica.
Right.
It's not hard to believe that. I mean, it looks like maybe it was her neighborhood anyway.
Hmm.
Like she had just walked across him
Okay.
somewhere. So
Maybe she recognized him from the neighborhood.
could have been.
Okay. All right.
And it looked like maybe he was just living on the streets
Yeah.
anyway.
So Jessica hears voices in the present day. Now we're jumping back to the present day. She hears voices from Malcolm's apartment. This woman is pulling a gun on Malcolm,
Mm-hmm.
who's begging for a fix.
Right. And because he didn't get his money.
Right, because he didn't get his money. Right. Jessica steps in, takes the gun from the woman, tosses Malcolm on the couch not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Yep.
He gets up, she throws him back down. Gets up, she throws him back down. Gets up, throws him back down.
Yeah. And she's reining it in because he's
Yeah.
not hurt. So
That was great.
yeah.
And then she's like talking about like, you can't save me again or something like
Right.
that.
And that's when we get that flashback
right.
to Malcolm. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens is Jessica ends up taking Malcolm to her apartment, handcuffs him to a bathroom pipe.
Yep.
And Malcolm's, of course, like begging Jessica for drugs. She sits down. She's like, look, pal, okay, you need to be a human being again instead of this self-pitying piece of S
Right.
that Kilgrave turned you into.
Mm-hmm.
So she essentially is like, okay, we're going to do an either or here. I'm going to leave some drugs. And she walks away to see what happens. If he's
Right.
ready to like step up to the plate
Mm-hmm.
and change his life. And at that moment, of course, who happens to call her up but Kilgrave?
Right.
Because Kilgrave.
Right.
Right?
Because yes, and bad.
Jessica.
Oh.
Isn't that creepy? Doesn't that creep you out?
Yes, it does. It makes my skin
David
crawl.
Tennant is really good. David Tennant is really
He
good.
is super in this.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I hope he gets some recognition for it because he's
And he
good.
gets that stare.
Yeah, he's got those beady eyes anyway. He's got dark brown beady eyes.
Dark brown. So it almost looks like his whole eye is black.
Right. Depending on
Stares.
the lighting, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Kilgrave offers to leave Malcolm alone if Jessica sends him pictures every day because, hey, if Malcolm doesn't send me pictures, somebody's got to send me pictures.
Now, at least in this episode, it's a little important that it's at 10 a.m. every day.
Right.
because she's late.
Right.
Once
Well,
he calls
10,
her out on
10
it.
a.m. was the time that he normally met with
Right,
Malcolm.
right,
So apparently Kilgrave's anal retentive enough to want those pictures at 10 a.m. no matter
Right.
what, no matter who gets him the pictures.
right.
So yeah, and he makes a point of saying, "And remember to smile,"
Yeah. Ugh. Makes my skin
which is
crawl.
like the denigrating, sexist thing to say.
Right.
So Jessica returns to the bathroom, finds that Malcolm has passed out,
Mm-hmm.
but he tossed the drugs in the toilet. So she decides apparently at that point that Malcolm's worth saving. So she grudgingly sends Kilgrave a photo. Doesn't quite
Right.
smile, but she sends him a photo.
No, but there's yeah. She sends it at least.
And of course, like Kilgrave's there, excellent,
Yeah.
clacking his fingers, click.
Yeah, he's
Excellent.
manipulating her at least. He feels like he doesn't have to go through a middleman now, so he's got one up on her.
Mhm.
And then of course there was the scene where Hope is getting money from Jessica,
Right.
which is a little
Which
lead
plays
into
it's a
the
lead
next
into episode
episode.
6. So yeah, it's kind of good that we did these episodes back to back. I think.
Yeah. I'm really glad because I
Yeah.
was like, what is that about?
I gotta know. I gotta know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't like that. I was like, well, I'll find out anyway, but
Yeah.
yeah, I was glad.
All right. So anything else I
And
missed?
I'm kind of glad that Malcolm threw them in the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still really pissed off at him for being so weak.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, apparently he was like this guy with a promising future.
Mm-hmm.
So Kilgrave got a hold of him and turned him into a junkie.
Yeah, but look at Jessica.
Right.
She's come through that. She has horrible PTSD, but
I mean, she's an alcoholic, so it's not.
but she's still productive at least. She's doing things.
Yeah, but he turned to drugs, she turned to booze.
Yeah.
So.
And he is hanging around in hallways doing nothing with his life.
That's true.
But she is actually out helping people.
Right.
And so, yeah, she's an alcoholic, but
she's a functional alcoholic.
She's a functioning alcoholic.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Okay, so anything else I missed?
I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay.
It was a great episode.
Yeah, I thought so too. What was your rating?
My rating was 8.5 loaves of banana bread, which we skipped over completely.
Right, the banana
downstairs, upstairs neighbor.
Yeah, Reuben.
Right, brought her down a loaf of banana bread and then asked her out.
Right.
And that was pretty much the sum total of his.
Yeah, interaction. Well,
right.
Jessica takes the bread and closes the door.
And then she munches down.
And Reuben kind of sees her through the shaded window.
Right. She intimates that she's not going to eat it.
But she eats it.
And then she just chows down on it as soon as she shuts the door.
No.
Right. And then she, when he asks her out, she kind of brushes him off like.
Well, really?
Yeah.
I just had sex with Luke Cage. You think you?
Right. So.
You think you rate Reuben?
And that is something I want to watch them about too, although it's not very interesting to me. I'm assuming he's going to get used at some point.
Something happens. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
But it's probably not what you're expecting.
Okay.
So I'm adding a little mystery. Ooh. Maybe.
Okay.
We'll see.
See, this is what I'm assuming.
Maybe.
I made a gesture.
Yeah.
By the
but
way.
We're not going to spoil which one she made.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
You're a winner.
Yep. You're a winner. Which was great in that voice, by the way.
Yeah.
Then when she calls, yeah, we'll get into that. Okay.
Oh, you gave your rating, right?
Oh, no, I didn't give my rating. I'm sorry. Thank you. Rating for episode 5, 8.5 out of 10 tiny drug packets in a toilet bowl.
Yep. So both 8.5 on that one.
We're simpatico.
That's right. And I thought that was a perfect rating for that episode. It was good, but compared to the next episode, it wasn't
as good.
The same. Yeah. The next episode was amazing.
Yeah, this one's definitely better, I think. Episode 6, aka You're a Winner, written by Edward Ricourt, and again directed by Steven Surgic.
Yeah. We got so many answers in this next one. That's why I was so excited about it.
Yeah, it is definitely a bigger episode.
And so many questions, and that's why I
Yeah, and unfortunately for Jessica, it was some things that came up that she didn't
some
want to
horrible
come up.
things.
So
Yeah.
so you Luke and Jessica shippers, keep hanging in there. Yeah, they're on again, they're off again, they're on again, they're off again.
Yeah, at the end of this episode, we get that noise though a lot.
Yeah, well, it's a big
Or
one,
for
and
Jessica.
it's pretty. Yeah, it doesn't look good for them.
Uh, I was really proud of her though, for not, throwing that guy under the bus, literally,
yeah,
figuratively,
mm-hmm.
Because that could have, she could have very easily done that.
Yeah, but I think it was her conscience. I think
Sure,
she's had this guilt.
but technically, I mean, for me too.
Right.
If it were me, and we'll talk about it in a second. If it were me, that guy really did do something horrible.
And he got to keep on doing it.
Right. He drove a bus while he was drunk, and he caused a horrible accident.
And then he got to keep on driving the bus because they covered it up.
Right. But he didn't end up doing the thing that he was accused of doing.
Right.
So if Luke was going to kill him, you
wouldn't miss the guy.
It would have been easy for me to say, I don't know. Do I have to come clean?
Yeah, well,
I would have to think about it a little bit if I were Jessica. Do I want to keep shacking up with this guy, or do I want to come clean? So yeah, it was a bit of a moral dilemma.
Well,
but
he is kind of hot.
I was so proud of her, though.
Yep.
To come clean. So anyway,
we jumped ahead, but
a little foreshadowing there.
Yeah. This episode, we start off with Kilgrave, who now we're just getting Kilgrave 24/7 now.
Yeah, that was cool. I love how they eased into the introduction of him.
He uses his powers to basically clean house at this poker game.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, he makes everybody fold.
With a $1 million pot.
Yeah, he's got a crap hand, of course, but everybody else folds. And after he makes everybody go all in till he gets close to $1 million in the pot.
Mm-hmm.
And makes them fold, and they're like, what happened? What?
That one guy, I wasn't sure though. There's a couple times in this episode when he's talking to people and they hesitate.
I think it's maybe they have stronger will than others.
Yeah.
So maybe they can be a little more resistant, but ultimately
the guy who owns the house seems very resistant to him.
Right, because he doesn't remember. Kilgrave tries to encourage people to do what they would normally do anyway.
Right.
So if they don't want to do it, they're more resistant and able to resist him a little bit.
Right. So he doesn't bend that guy.
No.
I mean, he ends up paying him a lot of money for the house. And then that one, the bald guy at the poker table doesn't fold until he really nudges him. Yep. So there's two people in this episode.
Yeah, he really has to whammy him pretty good.
Yeah.
But
so anyway, back to the poker game.
Yeah, well, he takes that guy that we're talking about, makes him repeatedly smash his head against a post.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. Right. And everybody's like, they freeze for a moment. They're like, stop doing that. Stop doing that. What are you doing? Right. So yeah. Yes.
Right.
Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
My husband does that.
Oh yeah.
He says that, yeah. And then he mocks them for losing.
Yeah, he does.
You guys are stupid.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So Luke Cage shows up at Jessica's door.
That was an interesting development.
After a little bit of a hiatus with Luke gone. But yeah, he shows up. He wants to hire Jessica as a PI to help find Antoine, the brother of somebody who apparently has evidence on the death of Cage's wife, Riva.
But he doesn't tell her that, because if he did, she would not take it, right?
Right.
There's no way she would take that case.
Right.
Now, Let me ask you a question. A
But
quick question
Go
here.
ahead. Go ahead.
Why do you think he goes to her?
Probably to one, check up on her,
Okay.
and maybe this is his way to reach out to her. Like maybe if I get her involved in this case, we can try to reconnect.
Do you think he's not been able to stop thinking about her, maybe?
Maybe. I think it's possible.
Okay. I was
Because there's
going
obviously an
through,
attraction.
oh, sure. I was
So,
just going through all these scenarios in my head as to why he would
yeah.
go back to
Maybe
her.
he feels a little guilty because of the way he kind of kicked her to the curb.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
All right.
so apparently this kid Antoine got deep with a loan shark, which is why
Yeah.
he's gone missing. Uh,
Partially why.
yeah, exactly. After, I guess, excuse me, Hogarth calls Jessica to let her know that apparently a fellow inmate decided to beat up on Hope
Right.
in prison.
Which is a very interesting thing
Yes.
since Jessica gave her money in the last episode.
Yeah, so Jessica goes to talk to the inmate. And
Large.
yeah, Large Marge, exactly. Tell him Large Marge sent ya.
That's right.
Ah!
And there are quite a few prison
Yeah.
sex references in there.
Yes, there are, because this inmate wants to keep her digits because she's got ladies to satisfy.
That's right.
Sweet Christmas.
I would play the porn music.
You play the Sweet Christmas.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sweet Christmas.
I was taken aback by that conversation, and I wasn't shocked because nothing shocks me
I kind
anymore.
of laughed at that so hard.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was tittering. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way.
Yeah.
Because that woman was outrageous in the prison. But she does reveal something interesting.
Truly outrageous.
She was Jem.
Not quite. Not quite. So she reveals that Hope paid her to
Right.
beat her up.
Right. That Hope
And so
wanted to be beaten up.
So Jessica confronts Hope about this.
Mm-hmm.
And Hope confesses that, oh, guess what? She's preggers with Kilgrave's baby. Ew.
Right. I know, right? Now, do you think Kilgrave did that on purpose?
Rectus Dominus. That's the Omen.
I know.
Rectus Dominus.
Dominus.
Dominus Rectus. Look it up. It's a great movie.
Damien.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, and apparently she's been trying to cause a miscarriage, to no one's surprise, because hey, I don't want to carry the spawn of Satan. I can feel him. I can feel him growing like a tumor.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So what is the deal with that, right? There must be something.
Right.
Ugh. And she says, and this is creepy crawly to me too, is that she feels like that she keeps getting raped over and over again because she knows the baby is inside of her.
It's a constant reminder.
Oh,
which makes sense, because if any rape victim that was impregnated by their rapist, so this show is not afraid to tackle the tough issues at all, which I think was one of the reasons I loved it, because this is a Marvel comic show, and we're getting
I know. And again, Netflix.
No, I understand that, but
it has to be on Netflix
you
for
would
reasons.
not be getting this story on ABC.
No, definitely not.
This is not an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. story.
No.
Or Agent Carter.
No, not at all.
So Jessica talks to Luke, and I guess they arrange to, like, they're going to go check out Antoine's apartment or whatever.
Right.
They go through his trash can, and Jessica finds these lottery tickets.
Yep.
So she gets this really clever idea. So she calls him up and says, "You're a winner."
You're a winner.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is great. And, if you got to call back to claim your prize. So which is pretty clever, I thought.
Well, cops do that
I'm
sometimes.
sure they do. I'm sure that's a total, cop move or
Like they tell people that have warrants out that they've won a boat or something.
great. You're tipping off the criminals that listen to our show so that now they can avoid the cops. That's not cool.
It's all over. It happens on TV shows all the
Yeah,
time, right?
I'm-
Have you not seen that?
I'm just giving you a hard time.
Oh, okay.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
There's a show that it happened on. Oh,
Sorry, criminals.
again, I think it was Brooklyn Nine-Nine, where they call a guy in who has a warrant and they say, "You want a boat?" And then they call him in and they're like, "You're under arrest for this, this, and
Yeah,
this."
yeah.
And they say, "You got to arrest me? But I just want a boat." And he doesn't realize that
Yeah.
boat is just a front for,
Right.
yeah.
That's fun.
And they're like, "Dude, you're an idiot."
I think The Simpsons did something like that too. I can't remember.
Yeah. Apparently it's a thing they
Yeah.
actually do.
Oh yeah, it is. Well, you can get like guys who avoid traffic tickets and whatnot, and
Right. That have a bunch of
yeah,
warrants.
yeah. So you can
they
lure them
never
in
show
with
up
a
to court.
prize, and then you
Right.
can arrest them there.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, they go through. They outside Antoine's apartment. They counter this loan shark. Luke tries to strike a deal so that he can get Antoine. Nothing seems to really come of that, though.
Yeah.
They go. Luke takes Jessica back. They're riding the motorcycle together again.
And as we're doing all this, Jessica is still sending pictures
Right.
to Kilgrave,
To Kilgrave. She's keeping up. Yeah.
right?
Or
And
trying to.
he's looking at stuff on a computer
Mm-hmm.
in a restaurant,
Yeah.
looking at house listings.
Looking at house listings. Yeah, and he tells everybody to shut up,
Uh-huh.
and they all get quiet.
Yeah.
So
That was
now, which
interesting.
one of us hasn't wanted to tell everybody in a restaurant to shut up?
Oh my God, that would be so great.
That's the ultimate
tell
power.
kids-
That's the ultimate power fantasy. It's like I
To
probably
tell
end up
kids to stop running around. Oh God, that would be so
being
great.
quiet. Yeah.
I did stick my foot out once when a kid was running around.
Hmm.
Is that rude of me?
You stuck your foot out to trip the kid?
I just,
That's not cool.
what do you mean that? Did you see the kid?
No, but
He was a terror. He was throwing food around and he was yelling and screaming.
so your justification is the kid had it coming.
Yes,
Okay, just checking.
he was old enough to know better. I'm sorry.
Okay.
He was like 10 or 11
So that's a lesson to you kids. You better behave or
around me.
Karen's going to trip you.
That's right.
And
I
then,
just
and then she'll go back and play video games for 7 hours.
That's right. I just put it out enough for him to stumble a little bit. I didn't actually like trip him so he fell on his
Right.
face. But it stopped him.
Shut him up
His
for a
mom
while.
was like, get your blah, blah, over
Yeah.
here.
Bleep, 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 bleep.
Right.
Yeah,
And she did swear, by the way,
right.
which I thought was a really good role
Example.
model.
Yeah, example. Well, now you know why the kid acts bad. So there
Yep.
you go.
Exactly.
All right.
She was on her phone
Hmm.
in the booth while her kid was running around. So we essentially were the babysitters for her kid while
Of
she was.
course. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we all know people like that, don't we?
Anyway, so he was looking up house,
Yes.
Listings.
Listings, right.
which I thought, well, this is an interesting thing. Why is
Why is he
look-
doing? Yeah, we didn't get the payoff, but right away, but we
Right.
got the payoff later on.
Yeah, that was.
It was a pretty big one, so I don't want
Yeah.
to spoil that yet.
Yeah.
I want to give a little mystery but even though if you've seen this episode, you know what happens. You know what we're talking
Yeah.
All right.
Craziness.
Malcolm confronts Luke, which I thought was kind of hilarious
Mhm.
because he's
Not-
trying to
not
be all he's trying to be all protective of Jessica. Like, I don't want Jessica hurt.
Hmm. Which doesn't help in the end, right?
No, it doesn't. No, it
Mm.
doesn't. And Luke takes the opportunity though to ask about Kilgrave.
Mm-hmm.
So Luke gets some much needed background story on Kilgrave because he's not getting it from Jessica.
Right.
So to understand Jessica better, he goes to Malcolm, which I thought was a good.
Right. So Malcolm knows more than we think about Kilgrave and Jessica.
Right. Well, remember Malcolm was in her apartment. They've obviously talked. And
Yeah, but I didn't know that he knew that much about Kilgrave. So
yeah.
It was interesting to see how much he knew about Kilgrave.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Jessica's telling him, hey, look, it's not you, it's Kilgrave, what Kilgrave did to you.
Right.
So I'm sure they talked about it.
So that filled him in
I'm guessing.
on that, yeah.
We just didn't get to see it, but I'm guessing
Okay.
whatever conversation in between scenes happened.
Right.
So Luke, after getting this info, knocks on Jessica's door. I want to make it right.
Right.
And Jessica says, you can't make it right.
Right.
I want to make it right. You can't make it right.
I like that.
You like
and
that?
you tilted your head.
Yeah.
So one of them was one direction.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Yeah.
I
Okay.
like it.
All right.
Good impressions.
You're making fun of me. I can feel
I'm not. They were good impressions.
Okay. All right.
It's like when I talk for my
It's,
cat.
it's just like watching the TV, wasn't it? No.
It is. It's perfect. I thought it
All
was
right.
Luke Cage and Jessica.
Now
right
you're being
there.
patronizing.
You're the one who said it.
I know. All right. So Jessica says that he can't because he did nothing wrong. And then Luke tries to reassure her about Kilgrave
Mm-hmm.
in a very cool way.
And yeah, but I thought it was really telling when he is apologizing and she's like, you didn't do anything wrong. And she's desperately trying to confirm you did not do anything wrong.
You have no idea you did nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah. And then he like lays one on her.
Big time.
Yep. Sweet Christmas.
Sweet Christmas.
Yeah.
There we go. I wish I could overlay them, but I
Yeah, that
can't.
would be great. That would be good.
Yeah, my soundboard doesn't do that.
That would be fantastic.
I see.
All right. So, of course, the next morning, because wow, chicka wow wow.
That's right.
Uh,
Yeah, and it makes
yeah,
this whole episode is so bittersweet.
yeah, it is, which makes it so good. Luke tells Jessica after Riva died, he found this envelope with instructions to go where Riva died.
Yep.
And he did so and dug where it said something was buried, but it wasn't there.
Right.
Wonder what happened to it. Well, it turns out we get another flashback.
Uh-huh.
This show has more flashbacks than Arrow at this
It
point.
does. Yeah, but they're good flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly. They matter. The flashbacks matter.
As opposed
to Arrow. Yeah, exactly. Or at least after season 2.
Yeah.
They did originally matter.
And we had one this season that did matter too.
Yeah, with John Constantine.
That's right.
Oh, and we got another one with Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
That's right.
So we
that
had
one
two.
too, yeah.
Two
this
episodes.
season.
Two.
So they're doing better this season. 2 out of 5 or 6 or whatever.
Yeah, 9. But
9. Okay, well.
Not that good. Not that good, is it? No, it's still an F. Sorry. So this flashback has Jessica digging up the box, like a lock box or whatever. It turns out it has this yellow USB drive on it inside.
Mm-hmm.
And Riva and Kilgrave are looking on. Apparently, they're both under Kilgrave's control at this point. They go outside, and Kilgrave orders Jessica to take care of Riva.
Right.
And of course, if you fill in the gaps, this is where Jessica shoves Riva, and then the bus hits Kilgrave. And so, yeah.
Right.
And that's where everything.
But Riva's dead.
But Riva's dead, and Jessica thinks Kilgrave's dead, but it turns out he just needed some.
Not so much.
He needed some kidneys, and he got the kidneys and all that.
Yep.
So, yeah.
And we don't know what's on the USB drive.
Yet.
Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun.
Done. Yeah. Jessica.
And I did like the banter in the morning between Luke and Jessica, where he's posing for her.
Yeah.
It was very cute.
Yeah. Well, it gives it all that nice touchy feeling. Oh, they're back together.
I know.
And then until the carpet gets yanked out from underneath you.
So rude.
Psych.
So rude. Couldn't even give us a whole episode of niceness.
They're not kind to the shippers.
Yeah, but we know that because of that flashback scene that happens right then. We know it's coming.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a train that's gonna.
The train's on the tracks, and Jessica and Luke are right there in the smack dab in the middle of it.
But the thing is, sometimes we can see that train a coming.
Yeah, coming down the line.
And we know it's going to be like, oh, I can't believe I see it coming. And it's going to be this disappointing thing where I see it coming and it's going to be a letdown. But this is like, I see it coming and I cannot wait to see how it plays out.
You want to see the wreck, the train
Right.
wreck.
Right. Exactly.
To continue the metaphor.
But I have no idea how it's going to play out at this point. I just know it's going to be
It's
bad.
going to be horrible.
It is not going to be pretty. Yeah, exactly.
And sure enough, it's not.
No.
Jessica goes back to Hope and gives her an abortion pill.
I guess it was like the morning after pill.
RU-286 or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And she says this is going to make you super sick.
Yeah, which of course it does. And then later on, she tells Hogarth to stay with her.
Mm-hmm.
Which of course Hogarth's like, I've got this baby that was fathered by a supervillain. Let me keep the remains for some interesting reason.
Disgusting too,
so,
right?
Yeah, so she gets a hold of the fetal remains for some as yet undisclosed purpose.
Ugh.
Superpower genetic material.
That made my skin crawl.
Yep.
I was like, oh.
So just when you think Hogarth couldn't get any shadier, she gets shady.
Yeah.
Super shady.
And there was some weirdness with her too in this episode where she kind of intercepts Jessica when she calls and says that, Jessica says she hasn't gotten anything on her soon-to-be ex-wife yet.
Right.
And then she lets it slip that she wants to be with Pam for the rest of her life. And she and Pam have a little conversation about it in her office. And I don't know. She seems like... I like her, the actress.
Right. Carrie-Anne Moss. Yeah.
Right. She's great. But there's something hinky up with her in this episode big time. And especially when she asks for the remains.
Yeah.
Of the baby. And I'm like, okay, what is up with her? Well, number one, she's a lawyer.
Right.
So there's that.
That right there should have thrown up warning.
Right. Yep. And she's divorcing a perfectly good woman to marry her, her PA?
Yeah, it's like her assistant.
Yeah.
But, she's younger and she's prettier.
Who seems pleasant enough, but...
So just goes to show you that even it doesn't take just straight marriages for somebody to go for the younger girl. It's also in lesbian marriages.
Yeah.
So yep.
Everybody's equal.
Yep. Equal douchebags under the
under the sun. Yep.
Yep. So don't let anybody tell you different. Everybody's equal in that way.
That's right. And so it should be.
Hooray, humans.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Luke and Jessica follow this guy to a warehouse where weed is being grown in a greenhouse.
And wow, that was a lot of weed.
A lot.
Yeah.
If Malcolm saw that, holy crap.
Right? And they destroy a lot of it.
Yes, they do. Then they find Antoine at long last, who's apparently just organizing the bags of weed.
He's jamming into the break of dawn in the back room. Headphones on.
Got the Bob Marley cranked up apparently.
Yep.
We're jamming in the name. Okay. Anyway.
Jamming to the break of dawn.
Yep. Of course a fight breaks out because the loan shark and his hired goons.
And they are. All goons.
So Luke and Jessica fight to protect Antoine. Luke stays behind.
Luke does a perfect table flip, by the way.
Yeah, he does.
That's an internet meme, that table flipping thing.
Yeah.
And he does a perfect table flip.
Well, most people, when they flip the table, they flip it long ways.
Right. He flips it from the very end.
He flips it from the end of the table.
From the short end.
So it takes out like 3 guys at once, right. Which was a great move.
I know.
Because he's strong enough, he can do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yep. So that was good. So yeah.
I want to flip a table all the time. I feel like I don't even have a table I can flip.
Luke's wooden table of death.
I know.
Yep.
I have a tray table, but it's up against the wall, so can't
Yeah.
flip that.
Yeah, let's see. I can flip a cardboard box, but
I got nothing.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Darn it.
Not nearly as cool, I'm guessing. All right.
Flipping a cardboard box. That's
Maybe a comic long box. Yeah, yeah,
that's still fail.
yeah, I know.
No.
Luke-
You would never flip a comic box.
That's true. I would. Well,
You go over to it and you'd be like, no. Right?
maybe if I emptied out the box first.
See? That's super fail.
Yeah, I know. All right. Jessica.
You'd calm down by then.
Yeah, I'd be dead by then. I'd be like, hold on a minute, I got to figure this out. Okay, let me empty out these comics first.
And then you'd sit down and start reading them. And
Be like,
you'd be all
I'd be
completely
like holding up to the guy going, isn't this an awesome cover?
Exactly. You'd be
George
calmed down.
Perez drew this, and he's awesome.
You'd have made friends with everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
Kill him with comics. That's what I say.
You'd give them all huge paper cuts. Really savage paper cuts.
Yeah, hold on. Let me take him out of the plastic bag.
Yeah.
Shh.
Here, I'll use the board.
Shh.
There's nothing worse than cardboard cuts.
Oh yeah.
Right
Well,
under the
especially if the comic box is new, so it's still a little. So yeah, like when you fold it, sometimes you get a little caught on your finger,
Oh, those are terrible.
especially if it gets under the nail. Ooh.
Right, under the nail is the worst because then you can't do anything about it.
Then it just made everybody squeamish.
Oh, you guys, seriously.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Jessica takes Antoine back to his sister Selena.
Mm-hmm. And this is where the info comes in.
This is where it all goes horribly, horribly wrong.
Sideways and pear-shaped,
Yeah.
as it were.
Or tease up.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it starts
Yeah.
to teeter on its end.
Yeah. So Jessica demands the file of that bus driver that hit Kilgrave.
Mm-hmm.
But who shows up at that moment but Luke? Luke shows up, grabs the folder, snatch, and sees that the driver was drunk, and the Metropolitan Transit Authority covered up the accident.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, MTA.
Yeah.
So Cage is like, revenge.
Yeah. Luke smash.
Luke smash. Sweet Christmas.
There's no stopping him at that point.
Nope. Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah.
Goes off. So Jessica races after Luke to stop him from killing the bus driver.
Mm-hmm.
Steps between, confesses that Kilgrave forced her to kill his wife, Riva.
Mm-hmm.
Luke does not take this well.
That scene on the bus, man.
Oh, yeah, when Luke confronts the bus driver.
So tense.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, and it's like, it's night, and it's like, okay, this scary black guy is coming at me. Who's all big and muscular and looks like he wants to kill me.
He's just like
The death
oh, the death eyes.
death stare. It's like, oh, yep. So yeah, not looking good. So
And then he mentions his wife's name, who of course the guy recognizes.
well, he should.
Because he thinks he killed her.
Right.
Oh, you're the husband.
Yep. You want to stop? You want to stop off and have a drink?
Yeah. And then he says how he's been sober since then, and that
the guy said it changed his life, and
he's trying to make up for it every day. And yeah, no, Luke's not.
Luke's not buying it one bit.
He doesn't care.
Nope.
Yeah.
Talk to the hand, buddy.
However, Jessica shows up.
Yes, and intervenes and confesses. Luke can't deal with this. So obviously,
No, and there's a lot of really tough words being thrown at her.
He lays into her. He says, like, he says, well, you wouldn't have told me the truth. Would you have told me the truth if I hadn't found out?
Right.
And the answer is no.
Right.
She would not have told.
Of course not.
And
And
then he's like,
you slept with me.
yeah, you slept with me. The hands that killed my wife
Were on
Yeah,
me.
and I was inside you and all this.
Oh, just so
Yes,
harsh.
it's dark. And yeah, and
And then,
then he calls her a piece of ass.
yeah, right before he walks away, I was wrong. You are a piece of ass.
Yeah.
And then he turns on his heel and walks away.
Drops
and it's
drops the mic and walks off.
right? Devastating.
Yep,
Just devastating.
it was brutal.
Mm.
And the shippers are not happy at this point. They're like, no, Luke and
Well,
Jessica.
how can anyone be happy with that?
No.
Even non-shippers would.
Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
So as the hits keep on rolling, we cut to Kilgrave, who's getting the keys to his brand new house that he paid for with his poker winnings from earlier.
Right. Now we alluded to this, that he won the over $1 million, slightly over $1 million.
Yep.
So he's not gonna miss this money.
Right.
It's
He could
money that
just
just
get some
got.
more.
Right.
No big deal.
So he finds this house in the listings.
Mm-hmm.
Although, why he's looking up listings? I guess he's just looking up houses, right?
Right. But apparently he was looking for a very specific house, wasn't he?
Right. So he goes to this house and he says, "I want to buy your house." The guy's like, "I'm not interested." And he says, "I'll offer you this," which is just about twice what the house is worth.
Right.
And he says, "I'll give you this much money if you can be out by tomorrow." And the guy, of course, he's resistant. This is the guy that is resistant, right?
Right. Initially, he doesn't want to do that.
Right.
But
and so
maybe the money gives him enough, goads him enough so that Kilgrave can control him.
Nudge him. Right.
Yeah.
So the money and then the nudge. And then, of course, his kid, he has to make this game.
Right.
For the kids is what he lets on afterwards. But if they get out of the house in time, and this is where, near the end of the episode, where Kilgrave goes and occupies this completely empty house.
Yeah. And as soon as he gets the signature on the papers or whatever, gets the keys, he says,
out.
"Okay, go. You're gone."
Out.
Yep.
Yep.
Leave.
You met my requirements. Out you go.
So now he's inside this house, and he kind of like walks along the house until he comes across this certain wall.
Well, he's touching things too.
Yeah, he's all touchy-feely.
I'm wondering if does he get like feelings when he touches things because he's been in her mind?
Well, considering he's a creepy stalker, I'm sure some feeling is happening.
Yeah.
Ew.
I know, right?
Ew.
Oof.
So he comes across this one wall next to a door frame where there's these little marks. So he peels back the wallpaper.
Mm-hmm.
And what's behind the wallpaper? Why, it's young Jessica Jones's height at various ages.
Jessica 12, Jessica 14, Jessica 16.
Yep.
Mm.
So, needless to say, it turns out that Kilgrave bought Jessica's childhood house.
Now, this is juxtaposed with a scene where she is drinking in her house, and she is, of course, repeating the Birch Street, Higgins Drive, Cobalt Lane.
Yep.
Then it switches to him taking occupancy, and when he finds those marks, we
go to the exterior of the house,
right,
and then in the street corner
out
to the street corner.
Right. And mind you, it is not on the corner.
No, it's not, but it's by the corner.
Right. So the cross streets are Birch Street and Higgins Drive. Now,
right.
I don't know if you read my notes. This is the only note I took.
I did. I saw that. I saw that.
So her house isn't on Birch Street.
Yeah.
At all. It's the cross street.
Right.
Her house is on Higgins Drive.
Right.
So she says Birch Street, Higgins Drive.
So you're wondering where Cobalt Lane comes from.
Well, first of all, I'm wondering why she says Birch Street. So I'm guessing she just says it because it's someplace where she's familiar with. So
I'm thinking it's the main road that either she took on the bus or what have you.
Okay, so it's the street she's very familiar with.
Like Cobalt Lane gets her to the intersection of Higgins Drive and Birch Street.
Okay,
that's my guess.
So, but we don't. you don't find out about Cobalt Lane in
No,
the show?
no,
Okay.
no.
So it's just 3 streets that she's super familiar with.
Right.
Is that okay?
I'm
So-
guessing.
So we see Birch Street and Higgins Drive in this episode.
Right.
And Cobalt Lane is just another street that she's familiar
Yeah.
with.
We
So
don't. We
this
don't.
house
Yeah.
is on Higgins Drive.
So it's the house that Jessica uses as a mantra to calm herself down from her panic attacks over Kilgrave. Kilgrave is now occupied
Yeah, right.
because
So now I'm guessing.
because Kilgrave.
Right. Now, does he know that she uses this as a mantra to keep him out of her head?
I don't know.
Because this is definitely ammo against that.
He is. I mean, if he's as obsessed, I'm presuming that some therapist or whatever told Jessica to say this to calm
Right.
himself down. So maybe if he got the therapist's notes or what have you.
So he could definitely turn this against her as a safe haven.
Yep.
It would stop being a safe haven for her
Yeah.
to use, which was the first thing that popped into my head.
And the house definitely comes into play later on.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, I would assume so since he bought it.
Right. Not
That's
really
an
much of a
easy
surprise.
assumption to
Well,
make.
it's not a
Yeah.
surprise, but yeah.
Right. So I'm guessing he knows that she uses it as a constant.
Yep.
If you're thinking in terms of like Lost,
Right.
as a touchstone. And if he takes occupancy and turns it against her, it's one thing that she doesn't have in her arsenal against him.
He's getting even more into her head.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Scary.
Yeah.
So,
So all you aspiring stalkers out there, step your game up
oh,
because Kilgrave has it down cold. And
sorry. It
he's
would be difficult to beat that.
setting the standard. He's
Mm.
he's the gold standard for stalking.
Yeah. Wow. Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about that last scene.
You need to go into and get a shower and clean all that off.
When it pulls out. No, I was expecting that to be her house.
Right.
I was expecting it once he bought it.
Mm-hmm.
But when it pulled out, I just had that creeptastic feeling anyway. It wasn't hard to see that that's where it was going. But again, it's how they played it.
And then that nice slow pan back.
That kind of
The
Stephen King
yeah,
creepy
yep.
reveal
Yep.
to it. Yeah, it was
And then
And
cut
again-
and then cut to the credits.
both storylines in this, the storyline where she has to out herself to Luke and how it plays out. You could see where that was going. And also you could see that at one point, as soon as he says he's going to buy that house,
Right.
I could at least kind of get that they were telegraphing it was her house.
Yeah.
I could see where they were both going, but it was like, oh, how are these going to play out? So,
Yeah, I know. So what did you give this one?
I loved this episode. It came awfully close to being a 10 for me.
Yep.
I gave it a 9.5 transit employee caps because his cap got knocked off in the fight, in the scuffle.
And I gave it, of course, 9 out of 10 height marks on the wall near a door frame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was yeah.
Creepy.
I know.
Creep.
My
Jessica.
skin is crawling.
Jessica.
That's a good thing. It's been a few hours since I watched it, and I'm still like
Skeeved out.
creeped out. Yeah.
Yep.
Big time. So we're pretty much on the same wavelength
think
with
so.
the series. Big time.
Yeah, this shows, I mean, so now that we're basically almost halfway point through the series.
hmm
What do you think of the series as a whole?
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So it would really have to drastically take a turn for me not to like it.
Right.
And I'm assuming that's not going to happen.
No. I mean, there's a little
I-
bit of it. There's a little bit of a dip, I think, but
Before they get to the end.
before they get to the end, yeah. So
No.
that's
Yeah,
you have those episodes,
sure. There's always going to be one or two that kind of
but I'm curious what you think. So
fill in.
We'll find out.
I would say it's at least on par with Daredevil, if not
Better, yeah,
a
maybe,
little better at this point.
yeah. I think the subject matter, because it's so raw,
hmm
and
It seems more real to me.
and gritty and
Daredevil.
real. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and you sympathize with Jessica.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
And I seem to be almost immersing myself in it a little bit more.
I think Jessica is a much more well-rounded character.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
which is
Although Daredevil was amazing,
no,
but it was
Daredevil's
more of a
yeah, it's a different
fantasy sort of
right.
sci-fi series. And this is more of a I can almost believe that it would happen sort
Right,
of
right.
sci-fi. Yeah.
So
So good.
all right. So do we have a review from Justina this week?
We do. She gives us a little tiny bit on both Jessica Jones episodes and a hi. So
Oh,
let me play it.
hi, Justina.
Charles, to watch two Jessica Jones in a row is not hard at all. This show is so amazing. You just sort of sit on the couch dumbstruck, and then the next episode just rolls on.
Right?
If I had unlimited constraints on my time, I could just imagine watching the whole season in like a day or two.
Or playing
I
WoW.
give episode 5 10 hero sandwiches. I loved her friend Trish trying to help her pick out a superhero name, and I loved that little girl saying, "The sandwich saved me." The 6th episode was even better. 9 out of 10 Xbox prizes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really, really bad for Jessica, and the actress is doing a wonderful job evoking that emotion in me. I can't even comprehend what it would be like to commit crimes without having the ability to stop yourself doing horrible things and remembering every minute of it. You couldn't control what you did, but you definitely can't stop thinking about it either. It's always in your mind. The actress is doing a wonderful job showing this road to redemption. Have a super week.
Yeah, good comments, Justina.
Yeah, we definitely need to give a shout out to Kristen Ritter because she's just she's phenomenal in this series.
Amazing. Amazing. And when she looks at Kilgrave that first time she sees him in that flashback,
Right.
I was amazed at that kind of Dauphin sort of look, that just
Innocence. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Yep.
It's right on the same wavelength.
I knew you were
And
going.
I like that Justina's grades are right along with us this week. An 8 and a 9.
Yep.
Just almost exactly along with us. So she's
Valid-
watching along with us.
validation.
That's right, sweet validation.
Yep.
I can't wait to see what Philip does for our picture this week.
I'm guessing it's going to be something involving you and video games.
Do you think? I don't know.
Well, I definitely think it's your turn after what he did with me. So.
Oh, so you're prodding him to make fun of me?
No.
He should.
Nope.
You should totally make fun of me.
No. I'm just kidding. All right. So next week we are going to cover episodes 7 and 8 of Jessica Jones because we're still waiting for the shows to come back. And then after that, Supergirl finally returns.
Right.
So we'll be talking about Jessica Jones and Supergirl.
Right.
So
do you want to do 2 episodes again that week and Supergirl, or just 1 and Supergirl?
We can see how it goes. We'll see after these next 2 if you want to burn through like, ooh, I want to get through 2 more.
Well, I'm guessing I will, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll talk about it. See if you guys want to burn through them too. Let us know.
Yeah, as we head into 2016, hard to believe it's the end of the year already.
I know, right?
It just went that.
Yeah, it did. As I get older, the years go by faster and faster.
Yep. It gets worse. According to my 80-year-old parents, yes, it gets worse.
Does it?
Yes, it does.
Sweet Christmas.
Sweet Christmas. Yeah.
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 Well,
we'll be coming up on our 1-year Fandom Zone anniversary in March.
I know, right?
So,
I looked that up the other day.
Oh, you did look it up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep.
I did.
So March for those keeping it. So we have to do something.
If you count Dangerous Habits, right?
Well, no, that's
is it the Fandom Zone?
Just the Fandom Zone starts in March. So
cool.
yeah. So that'd be 1 year with that. We've been over a year with. If you
with
go back,
Dangerous Habits.
Yeah, because remember we started with September
in the fall.
In the fall with Constantine.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. So should we give out our feedback information?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
Okay. Our Twitter handle is @FandomZoneCast. Our Facebook page is Facebook.com/Fandom Zone Podcast. And our email address is fandomzonecast@gmail.com. You can reach me at Aleveria, Aleveria. And in my bio, there's an About Me link with all my other links. And there is plenty.
Links aplenty.
That's right.
More linking than you could shake a stick at.
Oh, much more.
Linky, linky, linky. All right. So me, of course, at Charles Skaggs on Twitter, at Charles Skaggs on the Insta.
That's right.
And Google Plus for all you crazy kids on the Google
Google
Plus.
Plus.
And Facebook, of course. And my blog of geeky things, Damn Good Coffee and Hot, where I talk about things like Jessica Jones or The Flash, because Matt Letcher is returning to The Flash as the Reverse Flash. That's coming out, so I thought that was cool. And other things. So
as Eobard, right?
As Eobard-thon. And of course, you could read my review of Star Wars: The Force Awakens, among other stuff.
Which I can now read.
You can. Oh, you saw the movie? Did you enjoy the movie?
I loved it.
There you go.
Very much.
So you'll probably enjoy the review.
Yes, I loved it very much.
Awesome.
And that's all I'm saying.
This was great. Because you don't want to spoil it.
Nope.
Nope.
All I said was I went to see it, and it was good.
I can't believe... No.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything.
All right. We'll be good. We'll be good.
Too many things to spoil in that movie.
Yep. So next week, 2 more Jessica Jones, and then as we head into 2016. So I guess that about does it. Oh, one last thing before I forget. How about, if you wouldn't mind, guys, give us some reviews on iTunes. We haven't had one of those in a long time.
Sure.
And we need to, it'd be great if we could help promote the show. So
yes,
that would be cool.
Yeah, and share us.
Yeah,
please.
we would be greatly appreciate it.
On the Twitter machines.
Tell people to like us.
Sure.
On the Fandom Zone.
Nice.
On the Fandom Zone, not Dangerous Habits. That has plenty of likes.
Yeah, not Dangerous Habits.
We keep getting likes for Dangerous Habits, which is awesome, but
sure, that's cool, but yeah.
You know, this is the current show, Fandom Zone. We'd like to get some more likes for those. Yeah. There's Constantine again. I see what you're doing there.
I brought Constantine up again.
Okay. So I guess that about does it for now. That's enough of our begging and pleading.
Yeah. Well, it's okay. They're listening to us. I don't think they mind our begging and pleading.
Yeah. So hope everybody has a great new year.
I hope you had a good Christmas.
Or happy holidays.
That's right. Or whatever you celebrate.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. If you celebrate.
Yep.
And hope that 2016 brings you good things.
Exactly. And we'll be right here talking lots more comic book on TV shows in 2016.
That's right. Because there's a lot more to come.
And you guys need a guide through all this.
That's right. And it's us.
Yep, exactly. You don't have time for all those other podcasts because we're your one-stop shop for podcasting.
That's right.
We're comic book on TV shows. Yep, that's
right.
it. All right.
We talk about all of them to death.
Yep.
Okay, so
for that's it. We'll see you next time on the Fandom Zone podcast.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
And stay till the end so you can hear Charles do his little noise.
I'm going to do nothing and then just
next week. Yes, you are, because it makes me smile. All right. Talk to you next week.
Touche.